Hi, nice to see you again on my channel. Today's video will be about data storage safety, but important part is that it is going only to cover safety and not security. So we shall talk about being prepared for disk failures and not about being prepared for any unauthorized access. A popular way of storing data quite safely is to use an automatic backup to a popular cloud like Microsoft OneDrive, Dropbox, Google Drive, or a self-hosted instance of own cloud. It's quite easy recently due to use of virtual files. Yet there are few problems with such approach. The first one is the privacy concern. Especially if you're using the third-party one like OneDrive, Google Drive, Dropbox, technically you're exposing your data to a third-party company. In case of some documents, you may simply not want to do that. Another problem is the price. After you hit a certain limit of gigabytes, usually you need to pay a fee. Although those prices are quite fair at the moment, you don't know how the price may change in the future or if you will be always able to pay that fee. So there may be a situation when you may be forced to download all of the data using your internet connection to some kind of a big storage device, and you may simply not own such storage device. Therefore, this video is about building yourself a quite safe and cheap storage device for local storage, safe local storage of your data. Keep on watching. In order to build our safe storage, we shall use a device like that. It's an Acasis Disk Enclosure, which costs about $20 and is available on AliExpress. A link to the offer you can find in the description of the video. Let's have a look. As you can see, it's quite small, so it's still possible to carry it in your laptop bag. With the device you get additional power cable. About that we shall say a few words later. A USB 3 cable, a screwdriver, a set of screws to attach the drives, and an etui, which is quite solid. You also get a manual but it's in Chinese, so it's at least for me it's useless. In addition to that, we need the actual hard drives. I have used the classical 500 gigabytes HDST drives. So it's the company known previously as Hitachi. So those drives are quite cheap and quite okay. They cost about $15 to $20 each, and you should be able to get them in your local market easily. So we shall put those disks in that enclosure, set it to proper RAID mode, about that in a few moments, and use it for our data storage. The device allows 4 modes of operation: RAID 0, RAID 1, JBOD, and SPAN. We are interested in RAID 1, therefore we need to set up the toggles to match the graphics here. What are the RAID modes? The RAID 0 mode theoretically doubles the performance, as each RAID operation is divided into 2 operations, and half of the data is stored on one drive and second half on the second drive. Therefore, that increases heavily the risks with the data safety, because both of our devices must work. Destruction of one drive automatically makes any data on the second drive quite useless. Therefore, we are interested in the RAID 1 mode, which works in a way that whenever you store something on your computer, it is automatically saved on one drive and the second one. And computer sees the device as one disk and only acknowledges that data was stored after the controller here acknowledges that it managed to store the data on both drives. So let's attach the drives and the second one. Close the enclosure. Oops. And now let's connect the device to our computer using the attached USB 3 cable. And that's pretty much all. But there may be a situation when your computer will not see the drive, will not see the device. That is because of the lack of power, especially if you connect that device to a computer with an old USB 2 port, or to generally a device which provides only a limited amount of power. Then it may be needed to attach a second USB cable, and that should solve the problem. It was pretty much like that also with the old hard drives when they were connected using USB adapters to laptops years ago, and it's still quite common when connecting CD-ROM drives to laptop computers. So it's not like that's something very unusual. It's still quite a common solution. Yet in most computers it should be and most disks it should be possible to operate just with one cable. Okay, let's connect that to our computer and see how it behaves.
During the recording of the previous part of that video, I have made a mistake and by accident set the toggles into J mode instead of RAID 1 mode. I have intentionally not fixed that part and mentioning that now to make a strong notice about such case and to show you how it should be actually connected, because you should set the toggles as in the photo which you can see. Now that's the proper configuration for RAID 1. And that's all. Let's continue. I'm connecting the device using a single USB cable. Two LEDs will start to emit light. This indicates that both of the drives are working. Yet, as you can see, none of them appeared in this PC section of my computer. That is because we need to set up a partition on the device. To do so, we need to go to the disk management in our control panel. The easiest way is to just click on Start menu, type in Part, and click Create and Format Hard Disk Partitions. The system automatically will ask us if we want to create a master boot record partition style or GPT. I shall select master boot record because it's older but more universal. And now the partition. I'm going to use the FAT file system because I want to use the device also on Ubuntu or Debian, and NTFS is a file system dedicated for Windows. That's an oversimplification, but generally it works best on Windows and often requires some hacks to use it on different operating systems. Finish. And that's all. Let's copy something here. It's pretty fast, so I think the device does not heavily impact on the performance of those disks. And that's all. But what to do in a situation when one of the disks fails? How to know if one of the drives has failed? You will know it because one of the LEDs will stop to emit light. The one closer to the edge is responsible for drive number 2 and the second one for drive number 1. At the moment only drive number 1 is working, therefore the second one is not emitting any light. Also, the device blocks you access to the data to avoid a case when you lose it completely because of a failure of the second drive. So in order to get access to your data on the working drive, you would need to switch to JBoot mode or connect a brand new disk in the second slot. What to do when one of the disks fails? You simply need to open the case and replace the broken disk with a brand new one. And now the tricky part. It's best to connect now the device using only the power cable. The device is booting up, and after a few seconds, a bit more, it starts the synchronization process. When it finishes, they will become solid. They will just emit a constant light. Why I suggested to connect using only the power cable? Because technically we can now access the data on the working drive, and this would extend the time of the synchronization, plus this would increase the risk that we destroy the second drive, the second disk. So it's best to just leave it like that until it finishes the rebuild process. For 500 gigabytes it should be about 2 hours. For a 1 terabyte drive it should be approximately 4 hours. But is there a way for a bit more active monitoring of what's going on? There is, but it's a bit even more tricky. So in case you're not an advanced user, you can skip like few minutes of the video now and continue to the epilogue. Yet if you're interested, then I invite you to stay with me and check the next part of the video. In order to actively monitor what is going on, we need to connect again using the data cable. It boots up. As you can see now, I can access the data, but like I suggested, you should not use it until the sync is finished. So now you can use an application called JMS Hardware RAID Manager. It shows you what's the current status. As you can see, it's rebuilding, it's 1% done, and allows you to actively monitor or set up the RAID configuration on the drive. Yet Acasis actively blocked the way of the possibility to use this application, and it's required to unlock it using firmware update. It's 2% already, yeah. This also allows you to access some details on like smart data for your drives. So in order to access this, you need to unlock it. And if you unlock it, then you're most likely in your losing the warranty, if any is provided. I have bought this from AliExpress, so I have not really expected any warranty. Yet if you have bought it in your country, then be sure to know that most likely you're losing it. Yet the device itself is so cheap that, in my opinion, it's a good idea because it gives you more advanced options and makes the device quite professional. So let's continue on the topic of how to unlock the device to allow the hardware RAID manager to run. In order to use the JMS RAID manager, you need to, of course, connect the device. And now you need to download 3 things. First of all, you need to download the RAID manager version 21. You can download it from a website called Station Drivers. You can find the link in the description of the video. And you need to download the flasher. It's on an Odroid wiki. You can find it under the 0.4, and the actual firmware, which is under the 0.5. Okay, now let's go to the downloads folder, unpack everything. Install the RAID manager as any other application. I don't want to launch it now. Now open the flasher. It's in the JMassProd folder. It will show some errors, just ignore them. And on the list you should see at least one device. Now you need to click the Research Development Version, RD version button, and type in the password, which is Jmicron, using lowercase letter. And that's all. Now you need to tick the firmware update, ignore the errors, and load the firmware file. It's in the JMS 561FWS folder in the hard kernel ending with 01. Select it. And click Start. It shows pass, but in case it would show... let's move the window. In case it would show fail, it's still okay. It just means that it could not start the device instantly after the flashing. So yeah, that's quite simple, and that's all. Now you just need to power off and power on the device. close the application. And you can now use the RAID manager. And that's all. So it is quite simple. Just the only problem is that it shows many errors, but actually there are no errors. Simply the application is quite universal and it's a flasher for multiple different devices. So it shows you some debug data. And that's all. Just remember that you're losing your warranty that way.
And that's all. Thanks for watching. I hope that the information provided by me will prove useful for you. In case of any questions or issues, please let me know in the comment section below the video. I shall try to answer them as soon as possible. Also, I kindly invite you to subscribe to my channel. Each such subscription is an information for me that those videos are useful for you and I should record more. Also makes me more keen to wait and answer for any potential questions. And for now, thanks for watching, stay safe and see you again. Bye.